24 hours after Donald Trump said Britain was in turmoil, he's created a turmoil of his own for the Prime Minister, Theresa May, with explosive comments about her Brexit deal. In an interview with The Sun newspaper, the president said he thought that Theresa May's Brexit plan would probably kill a trade deal with the US. Donald Trump went on to add that he thought Boris Johnson would make a great Prime Minister, just days after Johnson resigned from the cabinet in protest over May's Brexit plans. Well, live from the US Embassy in London with the latest on all that is our very own correspondent Vincent McAviney. These are pretty incredible comments from Donald Trump, Vincent, aren't they? Especially just after he had dinner with Theresa May.
Good morning, Belle. Well, the president is waking up here at the embassy after unleashing these explosive comments in the interview with The Sun newspaper. And for Theresa May, this is exactly the kind of thing that she wanted to avoid. Just imagine being the aide, and it was actually right in the middle of the dinner, who had to tap Theresa May on the shoulder and show her the front page of The Sun and what Donald Trump had said. Particularly damaging for her amongst all of the headlines from this interview, though, the Trump's words on Brexit. Let's have a listen to what he had to say.
If they do a deal like that, it will most likely, because we'll be dealing with the European Union instead of dealing with the UK. So it will probably kill the deal with, if they do that, their trade deal with the US will probably not be made.
What did you mean by
because we have enough difficulty with the European Union. You know, we're cracking down right now on the European Union because they have not treated the United States fairly on trade. No, if they do that, I would say that would probably end a major trade relationship with the United States.
Trump not mincing his words there, Vincent. So how damaging is all that to Theresa May?
Well, it's highly damaging for Theresa May. It caps off one of the most difficult weeks of her premiership. Last Friday at Chequers, she thought after 2 years of negotiations with her own party, she had finally secured a Brexit deal to put to Europe. Then those shock resignations on Monday, 2 high-level cabinet ministers. She managed to survive that with a quick reshuffle. But this, again, is very damaging to Theresa May, and particularly the comments that the president has made both earlier in the week and in this interview about Boris Johnson, someone he thinks would make a good prime minister. Let's have a listen.
He's a very talented guy. I was very saddened to see that he was leaving government, and I hope he goes back in at some point, because I think he's a very, I think he's a great representative for your country. I was very surprised and saddened that he was getting out of government, and you lost some other very good people. Well, I'm not pitting one against the other. I'm just saying I think he'd be a great prime minister. Yeah, I think he's got what it takes, and I think he's got the right attitude to be a great prime minister.
Well, there were howls of outrage back in 2016 when President Obama said that the UK would be at the back of the queue for a trade deal. But this time around, I think Brexiteers are going to be loving this. They'll be emboldened by the president's comments, because since Monday, Boris Johnson has been laying low. We haven't heard or seen from him. There are whispers that the 48 letters of no confidence required to start a leadership challenge have almost been reached, but they've really been waiting for a leader to take them through. So it might be now that after this visit, Boris Johnson decides to make his move. He'll have to have some kind of plan to show that he can take on Theresa May with the leadership, because he has to win then 159 votes from his fellow Conservative MPs. For Theresa May, she needs to do some serious damage control today to get things back on track. But after these kind of comments, I don't think you would be, if you were in her shoes, you might feel like doing a bit of a Love Actually and taking on President Trump to try to assert your leadership in this position, because aides have been growing increasingly worried as this week's gone on, with repeated attacks on the Chequers plans, that Theresa May might not be able to survive. I think after this intervention from Donald Trump, there'll be real worries at number 10 Downing Street.